Alrighty, so it's another few hours later since we last recorded our clip, which I realize this is a whole other episode now that I've started speaking. We've went ahead and we finished our kelp farm. It is producing a lot of kelp, which is fantastic news, and every time you hear the banjo, sometimes there's a lag spike and it doesn't go up. But every time you hear the banjo, that's a piece of kelp, at least one piece of kelp going into the system. If two come in too fast, it obviously doesn't activate twice. Or if two go in one pile, it won't activate twice for that as well. So, yeah, but you can kind of see how quick it is. This should be completely lostness now. We had to switch out, that was packed ice. It is now blue ice, because it's slipperier, and so items don't get stuck on the very, very edge. There's nowhere inside for items to get stuck. It's completely efficient, or at least completely, no item gets wasted that is produced. I don't know about efficient. 6 layers. Each layer is 2 stacks, so 128 times 6. That many pistons, observers. We can do the math real quick. Bust out a calculator. We have 128 times 6. There are 768 kelp growing there, producing enough kelp to... hopefully producing enough kelp to feed these smokers and overflow into, this is stuff from like that was produced while I was working, into that. Hopefully. If it isn't enough to do that, that means we have to add more, which isn't actually the end of the world in my opinion, because I kind of wanted to have this be taller than the cactus farm, because kind of what we're looking at right now, if we back up a bit, a bit. You see we've got one building, and then this building is shorter than that one, and then this building will be shorter than that one, and that one will also be shorter than that one. And so, you know, it kind of downward slope, and I either want to make the cactus taller or this one taller, so, you know, you've kind of got playing elevations, so that when I put the buildings around these farms, it won't just be a downward slope kind of thing. I do want to make a other, like, building or room around this section here. And then we have to have other buildings, of course, because right now it's just one line of buildings. There won't be any room to pass between these two buildings. This building and that building will actually have a little bit of space, but all these two buildings and those two buildings won't have any space. These two are actually going to share a wall, they're so close together, which is good, I actually think. So, whatever. That is producing kelp very fast, I'm stoked about that. But yeah, like this wall is for the cactus farm, and also would be an outer wall for this. So, oop! Should we put that back? But yeah, I think... I'm not really sure what the next goal is going to be. I was kind of thinking sheep farm, but I'm a little less positive that that's the project I want to work on next. I'm gonna go do some villager trading and see if I can't figure out what the next step is. Alright, we found ourselves a new project, and it is to clear out all of the trees and forests within 128 blocks of our, you actually can't see the hut from here. There's the building that's like right there, or maybe it's like right there. Anyway, there's a building that we're going to be AFKing in, and we want to have, you know, have it so there's no mob spawning anywhere but within our creeper farm, within 128 blocks from that building. So these root forests, unfortunately, you know, they have a few points where they get fairly dark even during the day and mobs can spawn. So we're going to cut down all of the trees within 128 blocks of that house, so we can then replant forests the way we want them, and make sure they're lit up and not too dense so that mobs spawn. And that's going to take a long time. We've already been at it for like an hour and maybe a couple minutes. An hour, we'll say about an hour. And we're like 5% done. So this is going to be a pretty big, massive project. But the very big bonus, of course, is like I'm going to have so much wood from this project that I won't have to worry about wood for a while. Hopefully, anyway, you know. Who knows, maybe I'll do a massive project as soon as I'm done this one that uses all of my wood. Alright, what's up my dudes? We just finished chopping down the area. Actually, you know what, let's oh wait, I don't have paper here. Never mind. We won't do that. I was gonna fly around and show you. But we cleared off, you can see that tree line there is the 128 block mark from the front door there. If we hippity hop over this way, past our very musical farm. Oh, what's going on here? Are you out of fuel? No, what? What is happening here? Why isn't this working? Anyway, we're gonna worry about that later, but I'm really confused. So yeah, that torch there, so you see there's no trees. We don't have any more mobs spawning in the area within this kind of torch line. Wow, I did a really bad job right here. Can I even reach? Nope. Okay, well, we'll just leave that right there. Anyway, yeah, so there's no more mobs here, which will mean the creeper farm, when we're inside the hut, will spawn a little bit better, which is pretty good. And we decided to finish up, well, start and finish up a house around the kelp farm here. So the kelp is now being smelted going into these chests. You can flip this up and service it. You can flick this lever and this stops items from coming out of this hopper as well as from the here as well, so you can get XP out of any of these whenever you want to. That's an unfortunate consequence. And you just kind of come around and access the back. This is where you load stuff. The kelp will back up into this. I do want to make this taller still, because I'd like to see it producing a lot more, but that's okay. Here, this will be where we store all of our cactus green, for a while anyway. And then back here you can crouch and fill in the kelp blocks to power the cactus furnaces. We're going to come back. I think the next project we're going to start is going to be a reed farm, and I'll come back with an update on that. Alright, so here's the beginning of it. We're going to go with a flying machine reed farm. And I'm not really good at flying machines, so it's going to be like probably like a half hour of me farting around trying to figure out a flying machine to get this. But eventually we'll get one figured out. After a incredibly fast amount of time, I basically, first try, made this machine. There were no mistakes ever. You press that, I'm gonna go run over here real quick. You don't have to see what happens over there. Because it'll be back when we get back, and you'll know that it works. And there will be no cuts and no tomfoolery. I'm just still gonna throw away some reed into the big composter thingy. That's basically what that gigantic pool is. Now we're gonna hop back, and we should be seeing it coming back. Please be coming back. Yeah. Okay. So that's probably the most complicated part done. I guess I could bring this up to here and get a little bit more sugarcane out of this. But now we have to worry about the collection system, which is going to be no small feat. It's going to be a little bit complicated. We're going to have a couple different tracks going, I think, is the best way. And unfortunately, anytime an item gets stuck on this block, it'll be gone forever. There's no way for me to get that without some serious shenanigans. And I'm just not going to bother. We'll lose a little bit, but that's okay. You've been on this. Oh, we don't get that one. Oh, we should probably also fill in that hole, huh? Ooh, we actually have a pretty big problem there. Anyway, there they go, snaking their way up. They might not be able to get back down, but we know how we'll solve that if they can't. We need to fill up to whatever that block is there. Needs to be blocking. Oh, we need immovable objects. Okay, well we can fill up to there at least, but we need like obsidian along this layer on both. Other than that should work. They're up there unloading right now. At their 5 unloading stations. Oh no. Okay. Okay, don't get stuck in there. Pro tip. So how much did they get each, roughly? Because I honestly haven't... Alright. They should start going into this one, that one, yeah. Well, anyway, I guess, oh, you know what, I think I have obsidian in my, please be in there. Of course it isn't, that would be, you know what, we use droppers. Droppers will work fine, because they're in inventory, they're also an immovable object, so you can just have them go along at, this level, and it'll be fine. And then I think this one can go at this level. Oh no, we want it like there though. Right, one more. There we go. And then we'll have a little bit of loss, unfortunately we can't avoid in this spot here, but other than that it'll be absolutely fine. And I'm stuck. I went back inside the thing that I can't get out of. Anyway, it works though, which is the main thing. And we'll find out as soon as these are done. Man, those got a lot more sugarcane in them than I thought they were gonna. Can I... Oh, no. Why aren't they going again? They're empty now. Why aren't they going again? Why are you not... Oh, interesting. I see what's happened here. So, the sugarcane is flowing from all of them as soon as... Yeah, see, and then this one will go back in just a second when this hopper should be fairly backed up. Can I get at it? Oh yeah, wow, that's very backed up. So what happened is these ones were unloading their sugarcane, and they were causing the other ones to back up sooner, and these loaders only turn back on when there's nothing in the hopper. So these ones were so this one was filtering into this one at the same time, so this one stayed on longer. And then once this one was empty, because it wasn't coming out of the minecart, it also kept going. So I know that's kind of hard to follow, but basically we have to just keep waiting for an extended period of time for that to go through. What I could do to remedy it is have all of these hoppers go into a hopper here. Have the unloaders face... Oh no. It would have to go down and then across, which wouldn't be that much more expensive, but I'd only have... I would need 4 more hoppers than what I own. But it could be done. I get your kelp, your sugarcane farm. You press your button. The blade goes out. We've got ourselves... Geez, that thing grows back fast behind it. I just realized I don't want to be walking through there and getting all the sugarcane, because the collectors haven't come through yet. And I'm going to actually make sure I'm up here. Oh no. Yeah, I can get up there from that side. I want to be up here for when the carts arrive. Ooh, no, I want to go up, and then we can check them. This looks really silly. Oh, they wiggle! Oh no, I'm gonna block. Ah, no! Oh, that sucks. That one's not gonna get unloaded because... Oh, I'm so dumb. And those ones didn't stay. Why didn't they stay up here? What? Okay. That's not what you want to see. I might have to change back the unloading system, because that didn't seem to work at all. From that, yeah, that definitely still have stuff in them. Oh no. Why? Okay, let's see if we can't force this to work. I see it's getting nighttime, so we're gonna have to sleep away the day. Or away the night, I suppose, huh? But we want to see, why didn't they get caught up there? We want to see what happened, or doesn't happen. So it goes up. I'm stumped. Why didn't that get unpowered? That's super strange. I'm gonna have to play around with that. Okay, so I went ahead and I put a dirt floor above a grass floor. It's not dirt. A grass floor above the cactus farm. And that's gonna be like 2 months away from being relevant, so don't worry about the frame. But this is gonna be where we're gonna put our automatic sheep farm. Now, to get the sheep up here, I'm thinking I want to make a really cool water elevator, you know, with like bubbles and stuff, and make it kind of like large and out of glass and look really, really fancy. But of course, to do that, I have to have a whole bunch of glass, and I don't have a good way to smelt that. So the next project before we do the sheep farm, and it seems like every time I turn around, I'm bumping the sheep farm's priority back. The next thing is we want to make a 128 furnace super smelter, probably over there, I guess. And to do that, unfortunately, I need another 3.5 stacks of hoppers. I have the ability to craft 2 stacks of hoppers and have literally no iron left after that. So that means I have to go mining for the next long time. What are we feeling, guys? We feeling good after that one? How's everybody's night going? I'm having a lot of fun. I just... I just coughed Rockstar Energy drink all over myself. I have to go get some water to wipe that. Alright, you might be wondering why I have like 15 stacks of pressure plates in my inventory, and while I'm doing this while I'm not live. And the reason for that is because I was just minding my own business here, AFKing in the hut, and I once again discovered that our kelp farm is underproducing. For no strongly discernible reason. I can't figure out why it just sometimes like shuts down like this and just starts crawling with its production. So I went ahead and I did some head scratching, and I realized that I could force it to grow, or to harvest rather. You know what, I should get some stone brick too. I can force it by walking along on the blocks where there are the observers facing into. If I put pressure plates, I tested it with buttons to make sure it would work, and of course it does. There's no reason for it to not work. So what I need to do is grab a couple of that, probably just one more just in case. I'm grossly underestimating the cost. So what I have to do to kind of revive this farm every so often, because it looks like it's got something to do with the age, because the way growth works for kelp is it like ages and eventually it'll stop growing, is I can force it by having a signal go directly into this block. So I press that and it forces it to break, and you get the item collected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, you know, a scaffolding thing that goes all the way up on either side. There, and then we put another one right here. And then if we put pressure plates down on each of those rows, all we have to do is walk down each row either way, and next thing you know, this thing is working again. I, however, do have to remove, if we go onto this layer where I'm already at, I have buttons on the top down here from when I was testing it out. I don't know why I felt the need to test the entire thing first time, but it does work. So these have to all be replaced with pressure plates, and that'll allow us to, whenever we notice this thing is producing slowly, kind of refresh it. One uniform way would be good. I don't have a lot of room to work with though between these two farms, which was a bit of an oversight. I'm sure I could find a way to fudge it, but yeah. Alright, sup YouTube. So we finally went ahead, don't look at that. We finally went ahead and we found a final fix for our kelp farm. We discovered that, you know, it was crashing pretty regularly, where the kelp on the inside would get stuck at growth stage 2 and never get any taller because of some weird bug with aging, I guess. And so first thing I checked was if I put, I don't think you can see, there's not really any way up there. So basically on the opposite side of this block there's an airspace, and then just past that there's some pressure plates. Hang on, we'll see if we can find a way up. There's gotta be through here, I think. But I put down some pressure plates that I could like walk across the back to make sure that, first of all, this kind of improvement I wanted to make. Shoot! This isn't a way up. That's a half slab. I just want to get up here. So, okay. Yeah, the pressure plate's here. So the idea is you'd walk along this, and it would force the kelp to break itself, refreshing the age and allowing things to grow. And once I knew that that would fix the problem, I was like, okay, well, I want that to happen automatically so I never have to touch it again. So we put in, for every single layer, this row of repeaters, and then this redstone line that powers the repeater into that block, and oops. And what we do to power that is we've got this observer tower going all the way up with an observer at each level, observing this observer, observes this observer, observing this observer, and so on and so forth, basically. And then we've just got the corner here, so this observer, what we're doing is we're checking to see if this is on or off. If this was just dust, it would update very constantly because the strength going into this dust changes throughout the day. So instead we're just, you know, is there power basically at all? Yes or no? And then it activates, and that fixes that. And then we went on and we got to work on our super smelter, which is actually, we've made some pretty good progress in it. We're going to include more note blocks underneath these just because it's kind of fun having a musical world. But the idea is every 8 furnaces, the items will go into a dropper and the items will get automatically ejected if you put, say, 16 ice in. They get put into water streams that'll send them all down that way to a collection depot. And hopefully that prevents us from having any major problems by way of overflow, etc. So we just put in the water, and then we have to add in the... Oops, that's wrong. We have to add in the, the way to load fuel and items into these, but that's super, super simple, so that won't take very long, and then we'll have a 128 furnace turbo smelter. We finish the mechanical part of our furnace array. So the way this works is as soon as there are items detected in this chest, it's allowed to go. So when it comes back, it'll still have some items in it, and it'll go up and it'll be like, oh, but there's items, and it'll just go again. This is a super simplified version of our loading kind of sorting array that we have back at our base at the workshop, but this is just detecting if there's items and not if there's more coming in. And so we heard it arrive there, so you got two pieces of wood going into all of them. This one will have 2 when it makes its way back. And we're actually ready to put some goods in it. So we have, yeah, that's exactly 1 full chest. And you put that in, and did I forget like a redstone torch or something? That redstone block. Oh, no, it was just a leg spike. Never mind. And there you go. So now it starts putting the sand in. And in the next couple seconds, we're going to start hearing and seeing the items come through. Now, unfortunately, do you see what happened there is it didn't make it back in time? And so that means we'll only really be able to make use of fuel like bamboo or wood or lower. Wood, there actually is going to be a bit of wastage, but it's got basically enough time to smelt 1 before it makes its way back. That's actually a problem. It is still smelting super duper fast, right? But only half of it at a time. Now, why aren't you... I think that redstone block is causing us problems, so I'm going to see if I can't move it. Literally right there. Should be fine. Now let's see if I can't problem solve a solution to this. Okay. So we've got our half a thing of sand, and then we've got our other half thing of sand. We just went ahead and split it in half. I think this is the most sensible way. Now we want to make sure that it is constantly smelting. So that has 1. There will be some missing at the very start, because of course it only gets 1 pass per trip. But if we wait a second, so that's 1, now it gets 2. And then that one stops, but now hopefully there's... Oh, yeah, that will make it. It's just barely under 10 seconds each side. See, now we got 1 more. Oh, and it'll just work. There it is. That works. Okay, cool. And we can just watch our glass kind of flood in now. That's really awesome. I do need to figure out a better source for fuel. I'm not going to use a zero-tick bamboo farm before anybody suggests it. I could use a regular bamboo farm and kind of manually load it. It'll hold a stack and then 5 more, so 6 stacks per furnace. That's a decent amount of smelting. That's just under a full stack. Yeah, there's no way I wouldn't be able to do that. Yeah, I could just make a bamboo farm and power it kind of manually. Yeah, very, very cool. Alright, so we finally started the project that we made that super smelter for, which is a very large water elevator. And at the flick of the switch, you can hear what it... I mean, it's not activated yet, but the idea is we have a toggleable water elevator, very large, here, that you'll be able to just walk in, and then the bubble columns shoot you up into a high enough altitude to get things onto that level there. Which is pretty high up, but I'm pretty excited for it. The reason we've kind of got this pattern is because I wanted to be able to do it with slime blocks. and you know you're limited to how many blocks you can move with slime blocks. This is perfectly fine though. This will work great. But you flick that, it goes up. So the idea is when it's retracted. So for a bubble column to work, like this has to be a source block, and all the way up has to be source blocks. But if we make it so that that's a source block, but then the block below it isn't, when it's retracted like this, the bubble column won't work ever until it gets pushed back up.